All right, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Team Achieve call. This is Coach Chaz bringing on my guest speaker, my upline coach, and our upline 4-star diamond, Jason Croxford. Today I'm going to give a shout out for recognition real quick, and I'm going to hand it over to him to share his story. So we have 6 new coaches on this team so far. Congratulations to Phil for bringing on Megan and Kevin. We also have Jessica, who last night, within probably the same 15 minutes, brought on, I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Erlin and Miranda. Kaylee brought on Tim, and Megan brought on Tracy. So congratulations to all of you who are out there doing work and bringing on those new coaches in the business, and congratulations to the new coaches for taking the first step into what can potentially be your new life. We've all experienced it. Jason and myself have experienced this firsthand. So if you're watching this video and you're brand new, take all of the advice that we give. Look at my old team recordings. We have over 25 of them now. Take in all that advice, guys. Listen to the stories that we're doing every single week right now, because in these stories lies the struggles and the triumphs and the motivation, and you can follow those exact same footsteps. So anyways, that is my take for new coaches. I want to give out a shout out to Success Club real quick. We have both Kaylee and Phil at Success Club 9. And Jason, you don't know this, but Kaylee just signed up in January.
Wow.
Nuts, right? So
yeah.
Congratulations to both of you. You guys are one little micro point away from Success Club 10. Ron and Megan are both at Success Club 2, and Chelsea's at Success Club 1, and I've hit my 10 points, which was my goal for this month. So I'm leading by example. I'm right here in the trenches with you guys, just like I talked about last week. So aside from that, you guys get a break from me ramble about stuff for this call. I'm going to hand this over to my good buddy, Jason Croxford, who's going to share his story, talk about faith and believing in that dream. Anyways, take it away, Crocs. It's all you.
Woo! Wait, let me do my entrance?
I don't do the entrance. Jason Croxford!
Yeah! My new roller chair. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate being asked to be on the call, and it's cool just seeing, one of your own, Chaz, being the first coach that joined me back in January of 2009.
I always get that mixed up.
I started December 2008, December 14th, 2008.
I was January 24th, 2009.
Yeah, it was when I put out that YouTube video of and it's funny, it kind of ties into everything, even the whole story of us meeting ties into just kind of what I want to talk about today. And I know you texted me and asked me kind of what I wanted to put light on. I thought the best thing for me to talk about was not faith as far as not religion faith, but faith, can all kind of tie together, but faith in a dream. In believing in something, even if you don't, that's what faith is, right? You believe in something, even if you can't have a tangible, you can't hold it, but you believe in it. And through that belief, that's when things come, happen. That's when, miracles happen, and when you see stuff come together. And in my own instance, having faith in a dream, in a better life, in a life that was in my own control, in my own power. And, it's one of those things that, you have to have it. If you don't have a belief in, where you want this thing to go, then it won't work, because you won't do the stuff that is required to make it happen. So, I've been a coach for, 5 years? 08, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 years. Yeah, somewhere around. That's crazy. And I've watched this thing go through this. I'm in Chaz too. We've watched this thing. Because it started in 2007 on network. We watched it start from this little, not even a network marketing kind of thing, if you'd call it that, because it was, Beachbody was an infomercial company, and then they started the whole networking thing, and then, we joined it and got started. But so at the beginning, we didn't even have Success Club. Did we even have Success Club trips? No, obviously Success Club didn't exist. We had Psychology.
Or anything.
We had Insanity didn't come out till that following summer that we joined. When I started and when Chaz started, it was literally, I think it was just like a business pack. They didn't have the diamond pack yet. Yep. We've let so many things come and go. But the one thing we did have, of course, is brand recognition. That's one thing we always had. P90X was one of the big things. But When I got started out, we didn't have, like I said, all these things, but the one thing I did have was a complete, what's the word? A loathing for my job, for my life, from where I was at. Because I left Maine. I was 24, 2008. I left Maine with the sole purpose of changing my life. I remember the first couple months before I left, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do P90X. I saw it, the infomercials. I had it for a while. I just didn't do it. I couldn't break out of the lifestyle I was in Maine. With all my buddies living in, and just it was kind of like a frat house, if you will, sort of. Like it was just always something going on, parties and stuff. It was hard to stay on track with life. And so when I moved, I had faith in the product P90X, because I kind of have a whole previous story with pre-beach, but I'm not going to get into. But with fitness and stuff, and I saw it. And I was like, okay, I know that works. Obviously, it's not the shake, something like that, or the ab belt, or whatever. It was something that worked. So I saw it and I was like, I'm going to do this. Of course, I saw the coaching thing too, but kind of all as one package. When I moved, I didn't know how I was going to do this thing. I didn't know I was going to be sitting where I'm at today, 5 years down the road, with complete financial freedom, debt free, all that stuff, things of dreams that I had at the time, things that I wanted to be true. But I remember now I'm back in Fort Myers. It's kind of cool. I'm actually right where the same complex USA is, where I was living before. But I remember times I'd be driving to Red Robin, where I worked in Florida when I first moved here, and there'd be times I'd be headed to work, and I remember the cloud. I would just be, okay, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to make the best of today, right? You try that positive mindset crap. And then it works to a point, but when you're living a life that you don't really enjoy, it doesn't lead to happiness in your life, you're not doing things that make you feel accomplished, then it fades really quickly. And the thing is, I drive to work. I remember just kind of driving. It was an outdoor mall, golf course mall. I'd be driving there and just feel this sense, this cloud kind of come over me, where it was just, I got to go to work again. And I would think of these things like, what if I just skipped work today, just drove to Miami? It was 2 hours away. How cool would it be to have time freedom, to be able to go and just enjoy, today, just for the heck of it, just because I can. And of course I couldn't at the time. I'd have all these dreams, but I didn't know really. I didn't have the vehicle sort of. Well, I did. I just started beach bike, but I didn't know yet, right? I didn't know this thing could be what it is today. I didn't know. This would be a recording. I'll show this real quick, anyways. I didn't know. I just got this tax thing the other day that I'd be making stuff like that. That's my second year, and I didn't know this thing would work, but I believed it would. So I show you that because I know one of the things that motivates me is to see other people that are making this thing work. And what I want you to know is you have to have faith in it. And it's not just the secret. And the cool thing about The Secret, if you really watch it and listen to it, they say it's like a personal development kind of thing. If you don't know what it is, The Secret, if you go on Amazon, check it out, audio or video or whatever. But it talks about basically the law of attraction. And when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty much, you just sit there and, okay, I want $1 million, and it just happens. But it doesn't really say that. It says you have to take steps to make it work. So in my message, one of the most important things is, of course, you have to have faith in that this thing that you'll be able to, like I used to write down that number I just showed you. I used to write stuff like that down in my goals, my dreams of things I wanted to accomplish. I used to do a top 10 list. I would do a top 10 list of things I have already and that I was grateful for. And then I'd do the top 10 of things that I don't have yet, but I would say it as though I have it. I'm grateful for making 6 figures. I'm grateful for, the house, just details. A house I have my own, my first home I own with such and such, but I'm not there yet. But so, you got to have faith in things. But at the same time, as Chaz, if you look behind him, he's setting the example there. You have to kind of have, there you go, obviously some steps that you take to make it work. For me, when I moved, I didn't know anybody, so I was in Florida. I know I'm kind of bouncing everywhere, but I didn't really know it worked, right? But I had the faith it would, because I had the faith in my dreams was the big thing. But from there, I just started investing in learning how to generate leads, right? All you hear is invite. But how do you invite if you don't have anybody to talk to? And where do you find people to talk to? When you're starting out, sometimes it's kind of hard. It's like, where do you start? Twitter, Facebook, you go online, you go offline, you do, what do you do? The key thing is just doing one thing. If you believe in where you're going, then all you need to do is, you already have the vehicle. Beachbody I just proved it to you. It has been a steady income for me for over 5 years now. Obviously, if that's not proof, then, and I've been doing this solo it was my primary for 3 years, I think. I quit about 3 years. I quit April 2010 at Red Robin. That's when I kind of walked out of there and just went with this thing full time. Matched my income, was like, I'm out of here. So obviously, this is a real, true vehicle that could be. I mean, I plan to be in this as long as, if the I can't think of the word right now, but anyways, for the foreseeable future, because it's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So, and obviously, it's an amazing vehicle that has allowed a great life for me. But choose one thing that you are going to do. Whether you're going to write blogs, whether you're going to shoot videos, that's what I did. I tied in more things as I went, but I used what I had for technology, for resources, for knowledge at the time, and I chose videos just because I knew that, from my own personal experience, I shop a lot online. And even if I'm shopping in a store locally, I'll go online to check reviews to see what people think. So I was like, you know what? There's got to be other people like me. So I started posting videos. I just started. That's it. I just whipped out a video camera. The thing I had was like an old analog tape. You had to record it. Then you had to rewind it. Then you had to plug it into your computer. Then you had to play it normal speed. So if it was like an hour video, you had to play it for an hour where your computer recorded it, put it into a digital file. Then you took the digital file, you put it into a program, then you chopped it up, and then you had to process that. It would take 6 hours to make a 15-minute video. But the thing is, that's what I did. I chose one thing and I stuck to it. My day wasn't done. I remember there would be times I'd be invited to go somewhere, be invited to go to the beach, I'd be invited to go hang out somewhere, and I'd be like, you know what, I can't because I have to get this thing done. My workout was the important thing. Drinking my Shakeology, once that finally became something available, I knew were things I had to do in my own life to get towards that dream. I had to have faith in the process, and I believed in the product. I knew if I got results with the product, the business would come together. And that's been proven over and over and over again with what I've been able to do with this thing. But yeah, so I'm kind of rambling here, but it's what we do. At the end of the day, though, if you don't feel it in here, if you can't say, okay, Team Beachbody is going to be the vehicle that sets me free, my family free, or whatever your goals are. I know for Chaz, it's, firing Krista's boss. So it's a family oriented thing. I remember last year, Chaz was texting me going, yeah, I'm stuck at this freaking job. And, my family's at a vacation for the weekend and I can't go. And then of course you texted me within the last couple months when we went on that getaway. And I think it was the end of last year, right? And
cabin getaway.
Yeah. And those are the things that I remembered, but that's because, we've grown together, but that's, again, Chaz also has faith in that this thing will work. And it's not necessarily knowing, where was it? What was the audio? I think it's not the slight edge. It might be the slight edge. I don't know. But I can't remember who says it. But anyways, the idea is that the plan you start with is not the plan you finish with. I've heard that a couple different times. Can you think of, I don't want to anyways. That's true. You're going to start with a plan, but you're not exactly going to know every little bump in the road that's going to come up. But if you have faith and you start with a plan, then as your plan gets derailed and things change or whatever, you'll find ways to always just keep coming back. And that's what, Chaz and I've been able to do over the last 5 years. I know a lot of you've been in here for at least like a year, if not a couple of years. Some of you are brand new, but especially for those that are brand new, or even those, let me do this. And like I was telling Chaz earlier, I don't want to ramble on too long. I want to share kind of the last year, and it'll kind of tie together the whole faith thing, and just in the long run, and I'll kind of end on that is, I showed my income, and that's the thing is, I'll be straight up and honest. Last year, I didn't really do a whole lot of anything with this business. I kind of put it on the back burner. I moved. I was doing good. Had a lot of momentum at the beginning of the year. Then I moved, and I just kind of got off, and then I slowly got less and less engaged with it. I got kind of complacent. And that's one of the things you got to watch out for, because even in success, you can still, it's never like, I'm here, cool, I made it, and for the rest of the life I can ride it out. It's kind of like that, but not really, because complacency can still sneak in. Luckily, I recognize it, I see it. So, it's one of those things you have to watch, because it is something that can sneak in there. I could see how a lack of action, even in network marketing, even if you built something for the longest time, if you don't continually apply yourself towards a bigger thing than towards faith, always redoing your goals, complacency will sneak right in, and it can easily steal it right out from under you. So just be aware of that. I just want to share that tip from my experience of the last 5 years. But at the same time, the other part, the positive side of that I want to share with me basically being off the last year and still making a 6-figure income is the power of residual income and the power of this tool that you're in now. You will, if you want to make this thing work, if you want a 6-figure income out of this, you will have to make sacrifices. You'll have to take a year off. You'll have to take 2 years off from whatever the life is that you live now, to make this thing, to be able to live the life that you want to live. But the thing is, would you be willing to sacrifice 1 to 2 years of your life to be able to live the rest of your life completely set, and be able to do things for friends and family and just continue to build your income? Or would you rather work like 40 years and then still have to get another job after that because you can't afford anything anyways? So, and that's the big question. But what I'm trying to say though is this thing, this vehicle, this tool that you have, if you have the faith in it, like I did at the beginning, I knew it would work. I knew I would be, I didn't know how, but I knew I could be where I'm at today as far as like living in the reality that I live in. I no longer have creditors calling me. I think I started this thing, I was like 30,000 in debt, something like that, from school loans, car loans, blah, 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 all kinds of crap. Credit cards I got when I was 18, I think I had an $8,000 credit line. This back of credit cards like, here. And I was like, cool, thanks. Swipe. So bad mistakes in my youth, but using this tool, it's been able to basically set my life free. So it can do the same thing for you, but you have to believe in the process. Believe that your dreams will come true, that you want them. And then, of course, you have to take the tangible actions, either shoot videos on a regular basis or, do a regular fit club or just do something on a regular basis that's putting you out there, right? That's the big thing. That's one of the things I would always, like I was saying with sacrifices, I'd be invited to go out, but there were times during the day I hadn't finished. I had to do my workout, drink my Shakeology, and then I had to create some sort of content at least 3 times a week. That was my plan. It's not like it wasn't set. I don't like being scheduled. I'm not very good at it. Like, 3 o'clock I'm gonna do this, 5 o'clock I'm gonna do this. The better I am at that, the more efficient I can be, but I've never been good at it. So I try to do what I'm good at, and that's just kind of, in that case, but okay, I'm gonna do 3 videos this week, and I just try to figure out, I'll do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. But I just do it. Just whip out the camera at the end of a workout, and my day was not done. I remember there were some late nights because I was lazy during the day, but my day wasn't done until I did my workout, I walked the walk, and then I put something out there, some sort of content that would bring people to me so then I could invite. So it's really as simple as that. It's not a hard process at all. You have to learn a few things. There's, your skills of if you're going to do online, then yeah, you got to learn some basic skills, keywords, stuff like that. You got to learn some basic stuff of how to cut a video, put it up on YouTube if you're going to do anything. I just do I don't do crazy edits, just to make it a little smoother. But so there's some basic skills that you have to learn. But if you do those and you believe in what you're doing, you're going to take the steps, and then you'll be able to live the life of your dreams that you have the faith in now. So, even with a year off, I'm getting back into it. I've started this last 2 weeks instead of like trying to jump right back in. I'm just going to go at this. I've done that a couple times, and it's like, up, and then, I'm doing it, and then you just wear yourself out a couple days later. So taking the step, I'm getting myself into like some, I've been doing some runs, going for bike rides. I'm going to do a bike ride after this. Actually, I got a 20-mile bike ride I'm going to do. So taking the steps of getting back into it. So if you've been off for a little while, if you've fallen off through this holiday, this last month, this last year, get back on it. And, set your goals. That's something I've been working on, just kind of putting your goals together, have faith and believe in them. And it will come together, but you just got to keep doing it. Follow Chaz. This dude is killing it. Like I said, we've been together a long time, and I watch it. I know the potential. Like, I know it, and I've seen it since the beginning. And it's, we've been together through this. There's times where Chaz has kind of backed off a little bit, and I've been going, and there's times where I've backed off, and then Chaz has been going. Like right now, he's killing it, and I've been just kind of off, do my thing. But that's the cool thing about this business, though, is you can do it in seasons, is the way I kind of like to look at it. It doesn't have to, if you are a person that's like, I do this at 9 o'clock every day, I show up and I'm just, and that's who you are, you're, a very scheduled, consistent person, great. Then use that to your advantage. That's your strong point. But that's not your strong point in network marketing. You don't have to be, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, scheduled directly on. You don't have to always be on fire, but you do always have to be moving forward. And if you're going to be building this business, you have to be creating content and putting it out there. That's the only reason that my check or my tax thing there my 1099 has the number it has is because of the sacrifices, the faith, and the work I put in those first 2 to 3 years. That's when I was just, pumping out videos. And so I've got 400 some odd videos between all my blogs. I have over 1,000 posts. And I invested in learning how to do keyword marketing just so I could put my content in front of people. And all last year, I still had people emailing me. I still made Success Club every month, all on autopilot, just because of the effort that I put in, but because I sacrificed a couple years. So I guess that's my call to action, as I'm going to turn this back over to Chaz, is after this, I guess, reevaluate yourself, see where you're at. Even if you've been off, don't kick you. It's not about what where you came from. It's about where you're going. So if you haven't been doing a whole lot, if you've been in this 2 years and you haven't done a thing, doesn't matter. What matters is today, after this call, is you kind of evaluate where you're at and the actions that you've been doing or haven't been doing, and find things that are wasting your time and get ready. If you really want this. If you don't, then don't worry about it. But if you really want to do something with this, then do exactly what I've said. Evaluate where you're at. Reevaluate the actions you've been taking. Give yourself just one thing to do every week, whether it's make videos several times a week or write blog posts or do a fit club or whatever your strength is. You've got to find your strength. Don't worry about trying to strengthen up your weaknesses. That's where we have a team. So you find other people that you connect with that fill in your weaknesses. Find your strength and use that. That's the only thing you need to use. Everything else will be filled in with other people as you go. So set those goals, find your strength, find one thing that you can focus, that you can put stuff out there into the world that people can see that will bring them back to you. That's attraction marketing. That's how you'll build this thing. And just go with that, and have faith in the process and just always be moving forward. Do what it takes. And that's it. I'm going to pass this back to you, Chaz, before I ramble on another hour, but that's what I got.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hop on the call with us. And I love the part where you say it takes a year or two of sacrifice of your life, because it literally does. I was just talking to a coach a couple days ago, and it was on a coach on a different team. Never met her before, but she was just telling me how much she's struggling and blah, blah, blah. So I asked her, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is Beachbody a part of your life? And she said about a 4, because I have this, this, and this, and this. I said, okay, you need to sacrifice whatever the other stuff is and make it a 10. Mm-hmm. Your life literally is consumed by Beachbody.
Yeah, it has to be.
And breathe it. That's where the belief comes in. And, like Jason was talking about, you guys have all heard my story about being at a spa for 4 years. I could not stand that place. And I literally, I felt bad some days because I would text Jason 5 or 6 different texts back to back, even if he didn't reply right away, just because I was so fed up with being in that job.
I know that feeling.
It took me, I signed up, a month after Jason did. I signed up 5 years ago. It wasn't until that Bahamas trip about a year and a half, coming up on 2 years, that I actually started making Beachbody a priority. You have to make those sacrifices. I forget who says it, but there's somebody who gives an example of a jet plane taking off. It takes a lot of fuel and force and output to get that thing rolling. But guess what? If you keep staying consistent with it, which is what Don talked about last week, staying consistent with it and it starts to take off, just like Jason said, you never hit the point where you get successful and then hit the brakes and go, okay, I'm done. I made it. I get to pull in my money for the rest of my life.
Yeah, as soon as you stop, it slows down.
Yeah, exactly. But guess what? If you keep it going with that consistency and that plane gets up in the air, you hit a new point in your business where it does become automated, but guess what? It's still cruising forward.
That's the cool thing is, even with me this last year being unfocused as far as basically Beachbody as a priority took a back burner. That's basically what happened. But I already had the momentum because I made the sacrifices and I believed in it for the first 3 years. And it was funny because what you just said with the plane is very similar analogy to, I remember it was like 2 or 3. It was that time we met up with Blake and Angie at Summit. We had dinner.
Okay.
That was 2012, I think, maybe. I don't know. But that was when the Body by Vi thing was all, they had just come out with their shakes and they were trying to be competitive. They made a rip-off Shakeology video. It was the funniest thing ever. Everyone, Chaz and I watched it at Summit. We're like, really? Like, it was a total straight up slide for slide rip off of the Shakeology video. And we were like, wow. But anyways, people were jumping ship that were not staying consistent, not believing in Beachbody. They jumped ship and they went there because the promise of big bucks, basically. And for a lot of those people, it didn't work out. But what Angie said, we were kind of like, it's sad for a lot of these people that are just jumping ship. Even diamonds, people that are making money, they were jumping ship to go get the next new shiny thing because it promised money in a BMW or whatever, which is all a bunch of crap anyways. The way it's set up is, yeah. But what she said is that it's like a freight train. Same idea. Trains, they're sitting there. First the wheels are spinning. There's all the smoke and it's just spinning on the track, and then it slowly starts to actually get traction and starts to move. That's exactly how this business goes. Sometimes it feels like you're going backwards and you're trying to go forwards, but you're chugging and chugging it. And that chugging takes time. I mean, months, even sometimes a couple of years as you're getting going. But the thing is, over the couple of years, as long as you're doing consistent actions, it won't be like, you're at the bottom. You'll be growing with it. But sometimes it seems like it's kind of an uphill battle. But once you get this freight train going, or the jet, or whatever you want to look at it, once it's at cruising, even with me being putting Beachbody on as less of a priority last year, I didn't have any growth. It is the first year in my experience in this business I didn't have growth. I didn't rank advance. My income is about similar to the year before, a little bit less, about the same though. But I didn't have growth, and that's you could say one thing about that, but that's still the example that the momentum kept going. So that's the cool thing about this vehicle is it's all about you at the beginning, but as you build a team and then an organization, it becomes less about you and more about everybody else. And so, stick with this thing, get that train going, get that plane off the ground, and you got to keep going because, it'll work out as long as you keep working. So yeah.
Yeah, there was an example I used, I think it was last week's call, where I told these guys, imagine you go into a job interview and they tell you, if you dedicate anywhere from 1 to 5 years of your life to us, we'll pay you 6 figures for as long as you want it. And I told, what other friggin' job can you do that? And not only that, but you as an example, Jason, what other job can you accrue so much PTO, paid time off,
take a year off and still make money?
And still make the same amount.
Yeah, for real.
Incredible.
That's the dream. Like, this is literally, I'm at the point in my business, and it's still, it has so much potential. It's still a baby business when you look at other people, like $1 million businesses, thousands in an organization. I don't think my organization's just about 1,000 or somewhere around there, which is not huge, but there are some key leaders on the team that have made it so successful because of just doing it and just staying consistent with it. And because I believed in it, other people joined me that also saw my belief. They believed in my vision, and then they got their own vision, and it went from there. So if you don't have a vision and you're trying to talk to somebody about this business, you don't have faith in it, it's going to come through. I promise you. The second you get a rebuttal, you're not going to be confident in an answer. You don't even have to. The thing is, like, you don't have to try to come back with somebody rebuts something or objects. There you go. Rebuttal is coming back on an objection. But so somebody objects to something about the business, now I don't even care. So it's like, you can tell me it's a pyramid scheme, but I'll just kind of smile at you and be like, okay, well, it's a great pyramid scheme for me, but and everybody else that I know. But the thing is, it doesn't matter whether somebody wants to join you or not. I would take that confidence right from the beginning for anybody that, even if you don't have a coach yet, you don't need everybody. You just need a few people that believe in the same vision. So, but if you don't have the faith in it, they're not going to have the faith in it, is what I'm saying. So that's the first thing is you in building this business. It comes down to you walking the walk. And then from there, it all comes together. That's the experience I had as I've built this thing. And I'm seeing Chaz just do enormous things just in the last couple of months. He just turned it on and going for it, believes in it. And I see it. I see the potential. That train is like, it's going.
Stop it either.
Yeah. Shoot, the first month you're like, I'm going to, Success Club 20 some odd. I was like, okay, that's really cool. I didn't know you can do it. And you did it. I was like, that's cool. But we'll see what happens the next month. I've seen that before. Yeah. With other people. They nail it the first month and then boom, Success Club 0 after that. Yep. Nope. After that, you're over Success Club 10. Next month, over Success Club 10. You're just on it. Yep. So that is your third month, right? This month? Success Club 10?
Second. Yep.
Second. Okay.
Yeah, I hit Success Club 5 all of last year, all 12 months. Ended with a bang too. I had 57 in December, and then which I actually found out we had. What's his name? Craig. The guy who does the recognition.
Oh yeah, okay.
On the national call.
Yeah.
He was at our Super Saturday event a couple events ago, and him and I got to talking. I told him, I hit 57 points, and he gave me a free P90X3 shirt because of that. But he said I was in the top 5 in the network that did that.
Yeah,
which is nuts. But so now I've upped it. So my goal is Success Club 10 every month this year. So I've hit 2 months so far of that.
Very nice.
But it's because of the work I put in last year. It's because of momentum.
Yeah, there's no reason not to hit Success Club every month. It's really, once you start, you just have to know that you're going to do it, and you have to start doing it the first couple weeks of the month. If you wait to the end of the month, then Chaz and I have both been there. You wait the last day of the month, and you need points. You need 3 points. It's stressful. It's not fun.
Yep.
Since I started making it a focus, like I made it. If I do anything in this business, it's at least, this was my goal last year, at least hit Success Club 5. That was it's not a big goal, but it was something that if I don't do anything else, that was my goal. And I stuck to it. And at this, I'm at 34 months, excluding this month. So this month will be 35 months in a row.
That's just nuts.
That's 3 years. Yeah. And I missed it for like the first 6 months, first year. I kind of was in and out of it. I didn't really care. I didn't make it a priority. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. But it was as soon as I decided that I was not going to miss any more trips, I was going to earn it, and I was going to do 12 months, get everything. Why not? Right? It's not hard. It's come together since then because I believed in it. It all, again, ties back to believing in your goals. Not just saying something. It's really, really, really easy to say something. I want to make $1 million next year. That was really easy to say, but I didn't believe it. So if I don't believe it, then it's not going to come true. But, if you can say something, set tangible goals, things that it's good to set huge goals, but also set things that are more realistic, but do stretch you a little bit and then just believe in it.
Yeah, the whole belief thing. I mean, that was the biggest difference it made for me back in January when I first saw that Beachbody cruise coming up for March 2014. I saw that cruise, and just like you said earlier, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but for some reason, that belief was 110% that I was going to do it.
Yeah.
For me, I wanted to take my wife on the honeymoon we never had, and I wanted it to be paid for.
It's amazing what you can do with this.
It's crazy. So that belief was pretty much the number one thing. I mean, you guys see how passionate I am about these calls, how passionate I am about the business. You guys see my lengthy Facebook posts because of passion and belief that this thing is going to work. And it's funny because I spent the first, 3 years telling Jason all these goals I was going to hit, talking to him and telling him and texting him all the time, like, dude, I'm going to do it this month. Dude, I'm going to hit 1K a week. And it was the time that I stopped talking and just started doing it that finally happened. I know Jason would text me sometimes like, dude, what's going on? I just saw some huge growth. I stopped telling you what I was going to do, and I showed it to you. And it just came down to that belief. So that's why I wanted to have Jason on the call today, just to share, not his 5-year journey so much, but
so many different things and so many experiences in that. It's like, that's why I was rambling, because there's different trips we've been on, different summits. It all is like, but they're all amazing. One thing before I forget, I wanted to kind of jump in on here, but one thing I thought was kind of interesting to share in the last 5 years. So I always had growth every year. After the first year, it was when I met Carl, 2010, January in Boston at a game plan event. That was when I really invested in this thing. Like, it was like, okay, I everything about it, even the corporate people, I believe in their vision. So it's like, that's when I adopted Beachbody fully. When I had the biggest growth in this business, and I'm saying that kind of past tense as far as, because last year was kind of an off year. There's something very important to share, because some of you are on this call right now and you probably have drifted off a few different times. You've probably been either clicking on stuff, or I don't know, some of you can see, but or maybe you're off thinking about something else. And you might question sometimes, do I really need to be on these calls? Do I need to listen to the national call? Should I go to Super Saturday? It's all the same thing, right? It's the same stuff. You hear it over and over. And it's true. You get to a point where you start hearing the same things over and over and over again. But there's something very interesting in the tangible side of how that works is, once I really bought into Beachbody, I've been to every summit. I went to every trip that was there. Leadership, Success Club. I missed the Disney trip, but that was a personal thing. All the things, all the small events, all the local stuff, the game plans, all the things, all the events, all the calls. And there were times I'd be on there. I don't know, I'd be listening, like, okay, I've heard this before. This is something maybe good for people starting out. I already know this, but I would still be there to represent and still listen in. This last year, okay, so that's when I had growth every year. I mean, my business doubled every year. Last year, once I moved to Arizona, I kind of put Beachbody in the back burner, and I got less consistent. I was no longer, I mean, literally for 3 to almost 4 years, I was on every national call. I did not miss it. I did not care. I did live. The whole recording thing I find now, because this is the trap I fell into, and I'll share this in a sec, is I would make sure I was there live every single Monday. Of course, it's easier on the Eastern time zone because it's later in the day. But this last year, my business did not grow. It's about the same, but income-wise, it was just a little bit less than the year before. So it didn't grow. And here's an interesting thing. My personal development wasn't really all that consistent. I didn't read that much or listen that much. My focus wasn't there. I missed a lot of the national calls, giving myself the excuse because it was at 8 a.m. I'd be like, I'll listen to the recording later today. Never listen to that. I went to some of the Super Saturdays, but I wasn't like, oh, Super Saturday, I'm in this. I was like, oh, Super Saturday, I guess I'll go. So I kind of just went to them, but I didn't really, I wasn't really into it. I went to some, I feel like I was just kind of there, but I wasn't really like, there. And it's interesting because this last year, my business didn't really grow. So if you're thinking of maybe I'll skip the national call on Monday, maybe I'll just listen to the recording and then you never get to it, get on it live. If you can, if you work, that's one thing, then, do what you got to do. But if you don't have an excuse, a real excuse, then if you want to make this thing work, listen, again, if you don't care, or if your level of success is only going to be, making this part-time thing, or you don't, at this point, you don't want to go fully, then that's fine. Listen, I'm not saying everybody has to do this. I'm reaching out to the one, the two, the few that are like, I want to make this thing work. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm trying to listen and gather all I can. Well, then this is your message. You have to show up to everything. Plain and simple. Do not skip it. Every Super Saturday, listen to every national call live. Any kind of team call, make sure you're on Chaz's call every week. Make sure you're plugged in every day to Facebook groups, stuff like that. That's exactly how I was able to build this. That's how Chaz is building it, staying engaged. And the times that you're falling off, you're not doing personal development, you're not listening to calls, you're not engaging every week consistently, your business won't grow. It just won't. You might sponsor someone and then, a month later, poof, they're gone. Even if you have a short-term success because you're not fully engaged yourself, they're not going to be. But if every week you're on the national call, if anything, then your team's you're telling them, hey, be on the call, I'm on the call. Then you're also caught up with every weekly update and all the new stuff. But so in a nutshell, if you want to make this thing work along with the faith, you also have to be fully engaged. Even if you don't feel like you need to be listening to the stuff, if you already know it, it's always great to have a refresher, and it's always great to get content that you can share with your team. And also, at the end of the day, it's your example. So if you're trying to build a team in an organization, if you want to make Beachbody anything bigger than, an Emerald coach, then you're going to build a team in an organization. It's going to become more than about you. You have to go on the calls. That's going to build the confidence. And that's going to help you build an organization that's going to be, unlike any other. So that's what I had to share.
I love it, man. I love it, especially that last part. And, we're not going to push this too much longer. It's already been past time. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out here. You guys listen to everything Jason just said, especially that last part about being engaged. We're all in the Coach Basics group that I'm running right now, and I'm taking hours per week to assemble those posts myself. Plus take the time to make the videos and to edit them and to get them uploaded. It takes hours of time and work. I'm here as a leader to provide, but I want you guys to stay engaged and get in there every single day. Do the to-do list items that I throw on there and listen to the calls. You guys who are typically here on the team call, I appreciate you doing it because you are the ones who are staying engaged. And trust me, if you keep doing it, your business builds. And like Jason said, it's all directly correlated. Your workouts, your nutrition, your mind being your personal development, your mental fitness, your business is all tied into those things, guys.
It sure does.
And we all know how it feels to fall into that hole a little bit, 1 or 2 days off. And next thing you know, you're digging your own grave. Living a life that's just a state of paralysis every day. Don't be that average coach. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for coming out on the call. Thank you again, Jason. Really appreciate it. Aside from that, you guys have a fantastic day. Let's get out there, kick some ass, team.
Let's do it. See ya.